Hey guys, what's happening? What is happening? Somebody give me a 5 for 5 in there and we will, get rocking here. Make sure we're good there. Yep, we are. Okay. Give everybody a second just to get in here real quick. And, hey Becca, AB. But yeah guys, I'll give you a little short update on the, thank you Becca. And whoever else said, Marshall, thank you. Ramon, hey, Mark Webb. Okay, so I am putting that up. I know I've been saying that for the past 5 years, but now I am putting it up. So, okay. So, to give you a quick update on the other impact that we had, again, guys, like I said, hey, what's up, Chris? Good to see you, my favorite Canadian. I love that. Love you, brother. Anyway, we got this going on right here, and this is that CME impact, guys. You can see where we had multiple little hits there, like we were talking. They just ended up, our magnetic field just ended up being able to handle what was going on, which is, and in my opinion, I'm not sure if many other people share this opinion. I haven't really listened to a whole lot. But it may have had enough time to actually recover more than what it kind of looked like it was going to in between each hit. And so it seems like our magnetic field handled it pretty well. But it's still, the main part of it still did put us up into a small little geomagnetic storm. And again, guys, we talk about this stuff for a reason, and that's because, we don't want to come out here and say, hey, this is going to happen, which is why you really didn't hear me saying stuff in like a definitive manner, because I never do that. Because I know that forecasting can be wrong. And we weren't really wrong, we were just off a little bit on how strong stuff was. It could have hit us at a slightly, different angle than what was expected. And, but all the models and stuff was showing it and everything else. So, it's just one of those things that just didn't materialize into anything huge. But we got other stuff happening too right now. And we're going to keep an eye on this. This CME I'm getting ready to show you guys is one of the strangest looking coronagraph images I've ever seen. I'm not really sure what to think about it at this point. But again, we've had multiple other eruptions. So just know that that's going. And yeah, so that's what I would say to that. Let's see here. Not the size or angle, but duration determines how power it will be. Well, yeah, Green. All of that matters though, man. Or woman, I'm sorry. I don't mean to say man, woman, or whatever we're doing here. But yeah, all of it matters. Now, duration obviously is going to, if it's a hard hit and it sticks around for a really, really long time, or how really it's more about the size at that point. But yeah, okay, just making sure. Hey, Ellie. But yeah, so what you're getting there, guys, is all the stuff that we talk about affects how strong and powerful it is. The density, the speed, and like Green said, the duration. Those and the angle. All four of those things really do play a little symphony there to see how strong something's going to be. We can also, lost what I was going to say. Sorry, guys. I do that from time to time. I'm actually kind of tired right now, but it is what it is. So, but again, it didn't really give us much of a hit, but it does, this geomagnetic activity chart here does clearly show multiple little hits here. And, when we get hit from different angles and stuff like that, it does affect all of that. And, but I do agree with Green. The duration of it does have a big effect on how much it gets in or how hard it hits us. It just happened that Earth handled it pretty well this time. So, but you can see still flaring. Now here's kind of what Green was talking about here. And as you got right here, that's kind of a longer duration flare. This is the flare part. It has absolutely nothing to do with geomagnetic activity. It's X-ray. Now, flares, when they stay long duration, yes, that is the main component. That is really what we look at when we're talking about flares. And sometimes when that happens, you get a longer duration flare. Obviously, the radio blackouts come with that. But we also oftentimes get a radiation storm when you get a longer duration flare, which is excited protons that come at us. And that's what the radiation storm, they measure that here with the proton flux. So all three of these things, all this stuff is caused from the sun, and they're all three different. And I think that's a great thing to know, because they didn't used to think that flares and CMEs were different from one another. They thought it was all the same. They thought that it all happened at once. But they since then figured out you can have flares without CMEs and CMEs without flares. We get filaments that release off, all that kind of stuff. So yeah. Hey, Joanna, AB. Ric Flair. Good one. Woo! Is that what he does? I wasn't going to do it real loud in the mic here. I don't want to blast your guys' ears out. But, again, nothing really geomagnetically hitting us right now. You can tell by the aurora forecasting. One thing I do want to point out, I was going to show you guys a capture of this, but there was a large, I don't want to call it large, it was a big fireball that went across central Indiana. And all the cameras and stuff, the doorbells that have the security cameras with the ring thing, they caught it in multiple different locations. And it stayed lit and really, really bright for I think it was 29 seconds. Guys, that's a long time for these things. It might have been 26. But I didn't want to show somebody else's captures. You guys can Google that. You'll find it really easy. I think it happened on the 21st or the 22nd. But that thing, it's impressive, I have to say. Now, again, nobody found it if it made it to the surface. I don't think it did. Most of the time they burn off. Or they could have been an earth grazer, which is the same thing as a sun grazer. It'll hit our atmosphere. It'll kind of bounce in and out and just keep going back out into space. So, we are entering the Perseid meteor shower. Okay, that's something we go through every year. And I think the peak of that's August 13th or something like that. So yeah. So that was interesting. And again, I would show you guys some captures of that, but I'm not going to just take somebody's, it's their work. It's what they have, and I don't want to steal it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, just Google it, and you'll get a good eyeful there. So I got you over here at Seeds, and we're going to take a look at both the satellites that I typically show you guys when we're looking for CMEs. Okay. So let me show you this one first because, well, I'll tell you what. I'll show you today first. This is the most up to date what we have now. Okay, this is from Soho. It's LASCO C2. That's the equipment or the tool that's on the satellite, and it sits out in front of the Earth about 1 million miles closer to the sun than what we are. Okay, so as you can tell here, guys, this is actually kind of strange looking all over the place. We're seeing multiple little halo signatures, little eruptions, and I'm going to pause it here because right about, let me back it up. Let's see here. Okay. So as I go through here, what caused me to stop and really take a look at this is I started seeing a larger halo signature on today's. I didn't even go back and look at yesterday's before I seen this. This had me kind of, looking at it anyway because of how weird this kind of looked. All these things here are really, really, they're odd looking. And especially when they show up over here on the red. Wait till I back it up. If you guys looked at my thumbnail, you probably already know kind of what I'm talking about. All right. So if I just go forward with it, you can also see this. Now, when we look at the coronagraph, typically the colder plasma shows up in black. And sometimes you'll get what they call a ghosting image on these things. And we see that. And I'm going to show it to you here in just a second. And I'll show you how you know that that's what's actually going on, okay? Because if you just run it in a movie, you're going to look at it, and you're going to be like, my gosh, that's weird. It's looking like it's stuttering and all those other kinds of things. But most, it's really probably not. And again, I have to, credit Matthew Shipley for teaching me, because I was he actually commented in the my comment section about what we were actually looking at there, about the difference in temperature when we're talking about plasma leaving the sun. That's why you see these darker colors. It's a difference in temperature from the white. And go over and check out Matthew Shipley's channel. He runs a 24-hour live feed, and it's continuous, like what I'm showing you here in a movie. SDO, it rotates through. He's got earthquake information all the time. I think he even does weather, but it's put together really, really well. It's really good high definition graphics that he uses. He just does a really good job with it. I would encourage you guys to go check it out. But let me back this up, and we'll go to this day. Now, this is where, I kind of stopped and was like, what? And again, I wasn't like scared or anything like that. It was just so interesting to me that this is what it looked like. Okay, remember what I said the other day when we looked at these coronagraphs? See how grainy this is? So when it started detecting a CME, it actually tried to increase the definition around the CME. And that's why you get a more smoother look from that to that. Okay? That's one of the reasons anyway. So it's trying to outline this CME, but we really got it kind of like a little halo going on right here. But watch what happens here. Now, this is a classic looking halo. Look at this. Okay, I'm going to back it up, and we're going to look at that again. This is an occulter disc. It's on the camera, right? It's a physical thing. It's a physical disc on the camera that's blocking the corona of the sun or the main light from the sun. So this thing can even do its job at all. If that wasn't there, it would be nothing but a big bright light. It would be white. Okay? So, but watch this halo just form. It really does. What's a halo? It's just plasma peeking out around the occulter disc. Full, right? We use it to see what kind of direction these things are traveling. Because when you get a halo, if it looks like a full-on halo, it's either coming right at you or going straight away from you off the backside. Because we're looking right at the sun here from our view. And, and here's a little side thing that people might not know either. If you guys, most people that live in like Tornado Alley probably know this, or even in the Midwest, even here where I live, because Tornado Alley is actually shifted, in case people didn't know that. It's actually shifted a little bit more towards the east, and, so we're noticing that. But if you ever see a tornado on the ground, and it doesn't look like it's moving at all, okay, what you're seeing is exactly what I just said right here. That tornado is either coming right at you or it's going directly away from you. So remember that if you're ever caught outside in something and you see something like that, if it looks like it's not moving at all, just spinning, get the heck out the way. Okay? Because, it could be coming right at you and you wouldn't even know it till it was probably too late. You would eventually see it getting bigger or whatever, but just thought I'd say that, just understand that. But anyway, so to check this out, you see that halo just bust off of there? You can definitely see it. Right around here. I mean, that's just classic signature, man. It really is. But watch as this CME leaves the sun. You're going to see, and look at the red one. The red one is really impressive when I get going here. Check that out. I mean, that thing is awesome. So, it's pretty cool. I mean, it was awesome for me to look at. But remember I was talking about the ghosting that you get on the coronagraphs? You don't really see it over here on this view. You see it usually on the difference imaging here. And so what we're going to do here is I'm going to just go frame by frame here and take a look at this image. What you're going to notice is that the black is going to stay and the white's going to move forward one frame. And then the next capture, they'll be together again, and then it'll do the same thing. It'll do it over and over and over again. Watch. So you guys see that? Right there? Now I want you guys to know this because you're going to get somebody out there that's going to say that that's not supposed to do that. It's not physically staying there. This is a camera anomaly. Hey, Christine, good to see you. Hey, Seventh. Sorry, had to peek at the chat for a second. All right, back away. Anyway, trust my mods, guys. I love my mods. Give them some love in the chat for me. Hey, put a 1 in the chat if you love them mods. Do that. You know? Give them some recognition. Put 1 in the chat if you love the mods here. And mods, you better put it in there too, because you got other mods in there with you. Anyway, so as you can see, watch this thing. There we go. I like to see that. Bunch of 1s. Heck yeah. So it goes here, and then you see this just kind of stick. And the black stays there. And then the CME is still continually moving out. And then watch what it does here. It caught back up. And then the black's going to stay there again. See that right there? That's how you know. That's how you know that it wasn't something physically happening there. But I have to say that this is a very, very strange looking CME. Not to mention that the plasma here is just like, it almost looks like, what can I say here? Like one of those plasma balls that you stick your hand on and it follows you. You know, it goes where your fingers are. I forget what they actually call them things. They might call them a plasma ball. But that's what it looks like. Or maybe like you guys seen a sci-fi movie where they're like lighting up Frankenstein and all that stuff starts, you know, it looks like lightning. So, but that actually is a very cool thing to look at. Now, I want to point out that, you know, you're seeing stuff launching off everywhere here. Okay, not just here. So, yeah. And this happened, I think it was right around, well, we could go down here. Well, no, I'm not going to do that. It's just, I'm going to waste your time with that. But I just thought that was a really interesting thing to look at there. So let me take you to our side view, because from the front view, it looks like it's coming right at us, right? So is it? I mean, it very well could be. And I do think that some of this is coming at us. Okay? I can't tell you if all of it is, but I'm confident in saying, hey, you know, guys, you know, I think some of this might be coming at us. But notice how this is a side view of the sun. Earth is over here. Way far over to the right, but it's in this direction. So you can see how this thing starts to spread out. And I'm going to go the next day here because this is where you, well, I'm sorry. We go back to 2 days ago. Well, no, not that one either. Oh, I know what's wrong here. I'm showing you guys Stereo A over here on Seeds, this website. This is not the most updated. This is missing some data. Okay? So let me show you guys what I mean about, hey, if it ain't there, it doesn't mean the data's missing. It just means it ain't on this site right now. Okay? Believe it or not, it matters if it's like on the weekends. Okay? These guys take the weekend off. I mean, it happens, you know, and I'm sure that they have some staff running, but yeah, I mean, they don't have the staff to really keep everything up to date all the time, 100%. So if we go over here to ISWA and we take a look at it, that's that same satellite. Okay, what? Now look at the difference. Okay, here's that eruption it showed, and then here's the second one. Okay, I can tell you definitively that is that one I just showed you because of this. Okay, it looks very similar. That's exactly what's going on, and I find it interesting that this looks like this. You see something here looking very similar to the, I'm going to call it like the string effect or like the lightning effect. And so you're doing this over here on this side too. And yeah, So, yeah. And from stereo A's perspective, we get a halo. See that? So what that's telling me is stereo A seeing a halo, which is off to our left, but it's not. It's only like at 30 degrees now, guys. It's not a 90 degree. So it's coming closer and closer to us every day. So it's becoming more of a. It's coming close enough now that we can start almost like comparing both satellites. Can't do it all the way yet, but it's coming pretty close to the same perspective now. So when you see a halo on stereo A now, you can't just say that it's either coming right at stereo A or going off to our right, because it's not just a 90 degree anymore. This angle has changed drastically, actually. And if you don't know what I mean by that, let me help you with that, because I know it's hard to understand when you're looking at a two-dimensional thing here. Best way for me to show you it is this way. Okay, this is over here at NASA. This is the Enlil spiral. I show you guys this all the time. But this red box right here, that's stereo A. This is Earth. So we're looking at probably 25 degree, because they got it mapped out here. Stereo B is even closer right now. So what I'm saying here is, guys, that, you know, if you look at the orbital line stretched out, see how close they are? If we'd have looked at this, I can't remember exactly how much longer ago, but it was sitting out here. Okay, that's how big the perspective has changed. And it's given us a really, like, I don't like the fact that it's doing this, but it was meant to do this, okay? Because when it was sitting out here, you got a really good, when stereo B was out here also, we had a really pretty good idea and a view of the backside of the sun without going all the way back here. So that's why, and you know, so when I say that stereo A has a halo signature also, that's what I mean. So now that I showed you this, and you incorporate that with this halo, I'll pause it. With that, so that's telling me that this thing is coming at us at least a little bit. I can't tell you if it's going to be a direct hit or not yet. That spiral model I just showed you guys that detects CMEs hasn't updated for this one yet. Okay? And it will, okay? Now, I'm not saying this is like a huge deal yet. I don't know. We got to wait on the data to come in. But all I can say is that was a really, really cool looking CME that had a really strange signature. I've not seen one really look exactly like that before. You know, really photogenic. And I hope you guys, I hope I was able to teach somebody something on this one. Hope I articulated that one a little bit, because, you know, we oftentimes look at these things and it looks like it's lagging, kind of jumping around. This is why. And this is a really good chance to show you guys that. So you get that image, and then the rest of the plasma just keeps on moving, right? At least that's what it looks like to your eye. This really isn't still there. It's just a ghosted image off of the camera. So if we go forward again, and it does it again over here, see that? But you guys see what I mean about this thing being this odd looking? But anyway, yeah. So let's go check out spaceloader.com just for a second. Okay, yeah, he's saying the same thing over here. It probably was a filament. Oh, I didn't show you guys this yet. I guess I could show you the SDO. By the way, anybody that goes over here to ISWA site, they got rid of all the SDO individual angstrom. You have to use this one now. And when you use that one, what it'll do is it changes it to this style. It's the same imaging, but you see where it says wavelength? You can go down here and pick whatever wavelength you want without having to open up a new window. That's why they did that. I actually like it like that. But anyway, so this one here is from the 23rd. You can see eruption here. You can see some big dark filaments coming around through there. All right, there's another one right in front. that little flare, nothing big. My guess is that might have been the one. I can't really point it out because I do think it was a filament. And when those filaments pop off, they can just fling everywhere, and sometimes they're hard to see. But watch here on the end. I'll show you the most updated pic here. Watch over here. This is an eruption I haven't shown you guys yet. It isn't on the data yet on the other ones. So as I move forward here, oh, it didn't show it. Wow. Okay. Let me just refresh that. See if it'll show it now. It might. Hold on a second. Nope, not yet. I can tell you right now, though. Here, let me zoom in. Let me show you this. I'm seeing some activity happening right here on the end. Yep, you see that? That's another eruption. Right here where my cursor is. But I ain't going to call that an eruption. That might not have made it off the sun. Doesn't look like it did. That's a filament reaching up there. See that? But it doesn't look like it broke in a position or fast enough for it to shoot out in space. But this over here, yeah, a lot of that most certainly did. Okay, you see this right here? That's not coming at us. Okay, I just want to point that out. But that's another eruption. I think it showed up better on the 211. Let's go down here and look at that eruption over here. Notice that the corona holes are still there, but we do have a small one over here that could be giving us some fast solar wind in the next few days. We'll have to pay attention and watch it. Yeah, there it went. Now, you're going to see it get dark a little bit over here, too. Okay, watch this. Right there, see where my cursor is? Watch that part of the sun. You find it. You see that blink like that? Now, I think what that is and I looked at the SDO site, and it looks like this. I'm pretty confident in saying that is the actual Earth getting in front of, in between the satellite and the sun. Okay? I can take you over to SDO and show it to you. Actually, I think I will real quick. Because it's only take a second to show it to you. So if you come over here to SDO, you guys can just Google that or just go to the site. And you go to home. Right? And it'll show you exactly where SDO is at. This is the satellite. And when I click on this, it'll give me a 2-day movie. Get that up there big. And watch what's happening. Okay? You see this little... There, we'll wait till it rotates back through. Well, hold on. Back a little further. You see this right here? That is the daggone it. Sorry about that, guys. Anyway, I'm just going to push play. We'll watch it. But you'll see what I mean here in a second. That's the camera view moving right here. You see this? That's the sun. And then it looked like right on the end that it barely clipped the edge. Now, these are, again, it's probably part of the eclipse season of SDO. I have not looked yet on that. But most likely, that's what that is. Okay? But yeah. All right. So, we'll go back over to this one just for a second. And, okay. But you see that little shadow? I think that's where that came from. But let's go back down here to the 211, and I'll show you that eruption on it. Zoom that back in. It's going to be over here. You can see it disrupt the corona when it happens. So keep an eye on that. You'll see it. As a matter of fact, let me... see that? Okay. So that was that little eruption. I ain't going to call it little. I don't know really how big it was. But that's not coming at us. But I just wanted to show it to you. And you can definitely see... like, watch up here. See that? I'm not sure if any of that left the sun, but it did cause a little bit of a shock wave going across the planet, or across the sun's surface here, or at least the corona. So, yeah, I just thought that was pretty cool. Alright. Okay. So, what I'll do, take you guys back over here to seeds, and I'm just going to slow this down. And, but you can definitely see how that the camera is ghosting on that difference imaging. Like, again, you see it stop in one color and it'll move forward in another. But again, I just wanted to show that to you because I think it's important to know that kind of stuff. And again, I want to say thanks to Matthew Shipley for leaving that comment for me, helping me understand what I was actually looking at there. Okay. But you can see stuff just shooting out and all that kind of stuff. But watch, I'll pause it again right here when it happens again here. And I'll explain it one more time very, very briefly. There's that eruption halo. Okay, right here you're going to see that? Okay. And if I even go forward here, watch what happens here. Now, I think it stays there for 2 or 3 frames this time. Watch. See that? That was at least 2 frames that shadow stayed there. 3 frames. Yeah, then no more data. So, yeah. I hope that gave somebody a little bit of something to look at there. I mean, I think it's neat to know that kind of stuff. But I'll keep an eye on this, guys. And if anything else happens, I'll let you guys know. If I think this is going to give us a big hit or something, if the data starts coming in, I definitely will come back on and tell you. I have to do my streams and stuff whenever I get the time. Because I made a rule for myself in case you guys didn't know this. The new people might not know this. That when I started my channel, I told myself and I told my family I was not going to take time away from my family to do YouTube. I don't monetize my channel. I make absolutely no money off of this. I have no intentions of doing that. But with that said, and this is one of the main reasons, because I didn't want to lock it in to where I had to walk away from my family to come do this. So right now, my daughter's still sleeping. She's still a teenager. And my wife are into the grocery store. That's why I'm on here. Okay? That's why my streaming times, as far as when I come on here, that's why it kind of differs from day to day, or even 3 days to 3 days, or what have you. But I just wanted to, make sure everybody understood that. And if something big happens that I need to say something like right now about it, obviously I'm going to come on here and do that. It would be just a really quick, straight to the point thing, but that's what would happen. The most important thing in my life right now is spending time with my daughter and my kids and my wife. And, it took me 2 boys to understand. I got 2 older boys. One's 26, one's 21. Well, 26, 22 in September. I think, or now. Maybe they're turning. I got to think of. I don't even know what year I was born in half the time, or what my age is. Let's see here. Try to think this out real quick. So my oldest was born in 95, so that would put him at He'll be 23 this year. So he's 20, or yeah. Anyway, my middle son is born in 99. So yeah. But anyway, it took me, you like your wife in the closet when you stream, that's awesome. It took me raising two boys, to understand that once they reach a certain age, you're not going to see them. Not as much as you want to, not as much as you think you probably should. There's a whole, life happens. That's the job of a parent, is to get them ready to be on their own, even though we know it's going to kill us when they are. Right? So I am not going to waste whatever time I have left with my daughter. Not doing it. And, that's kind of where I'm at. I can't be locked down to a specific time frame when I'm doing these streams. Again, if I come on here one day at an odd time real quick and straight to the point, that's exactly what I would do. 5 or 10 minutes, whatever. But, doing this, actually setting up this stream, it takes a little bit longer than what most people understand. You got to make a thumbnail. You got to get all this stuff ready so I ain't wasting your guys' time. And I still do. I still have to flop back and forth. But that's one thing we only have, like, if you regret things in your life, you got to use it. You got to use that regret and turn it into something positive and a learning experience for yourself. And I regret not spending every last second I could with my kids, my boys. Now, don't get me wrong. I was there for everything for my boys, okay? Probably more so than what most parents are. But I still feel like I missed quite a bit of stuff. And I'm not going to let that happen with my daughter. It's just not going to happen. And so when I pop on here at odd times, that's why. You'll see me stream at like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. That's why. Everybody's still in bed. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've had a lot of people ask me why I'm all over the place on my what time I post. That's why. Okay? So I just can't, and I look at my parents too, and I see that they feel the same way about me. So I don't think, even if I spent every last second with my daughter, I still think I would feel like I didn't spend enough. You know what I mean? And I know I'm off the space weather subject here, but I want you guys to understand why I'm all over the place on when I come on here. It's just, yeah. And that's the other thing. I don't have a whole lot of time with my parents left either. I mean, that's the nature of life. I don't know how much time. Yeah, I'll leave it there. I'm not going to go any further with that subject. But, and I fight a lot of health issues too. And so, and again, like I said, I'm just going to leave that there, and we'll just keep moving from that. But as you can tell, that when I'm bouncing all over the place, I kind of squirrel. That's a little bit of that, because I'm not completely prepared when I go live. Like, in the times that I'm not squirreling a whole lot, I probably did have a little bit of extra time. And I just want to let you guys know that, because I know there's been quite a few new people come subscribe. And anybody here that's been here for a minute already knows this. I've said it multiple times. Maybe not in that specific way, or maybe not that with such conviction. But I really feel like I need to just be that. I've got too many regrets in my life. I fought the opiate addiction. I'm still on Suboxone. And I'm not going to waste time anymore. Not doing it. I'm not going to have that regret anymore. I don't care what has to happen. It's just what it is. So, anyway, guys, I love all you guys. Thank you guys for even coming over here and even just listening to my little rants here on the end and trusting what I'm showing you guys. I hope I don't steer anybody the wrong way as far as, what space weather is and what I'm trying to show here. And that's just what I'm going to say, just what it is. Oh, and I do want to say this too. And I mentioned this the other day, but I want to reiterate, if anybody's listening to me, please, I'm asking you, because I don't want to have to block somebody or anything like that. Please do not say anything bad about another channel here. Okay? I don't think that's a very good thing to do, because most of the time, they're not here to defend themselves anyway. Number two, that's not what we're here to do. We're here to do what we're doing now. So, if you got enough animosity, or even, I'll just use this word, if you got enough balls to come over here and say it to all of us, maybe you should go say it to them. So, that's what I would say. I just don't, you can't, and sometimes it's people that I've never even talked to or even seen, they'll come in and start bashing somebody, and it's like, why? I mean, can't you handle that differently? You don't have to come over here to my channel to do that. I accept everybody. You guys know that. I don't care who they are. I love everybody. Doesn't mean I agree with what they say, but I love everybody, and they're welcome to come here and voice their opinion, as long as they don't go to personal attacks on anybody or any other channel, especially if they're not here. In my opinion, that's a pretty coward thing to do, to talk about somebody when they're not here. But that's just what it is. I'm going to go ahead and end it there, and hope you guys have a great Sunday, great rest of the weekend. And I'm sorry I didn't look at the chat a whole lot tonight. I just want to get this done and go spend some time with my family. My wife's getting ready to be home. We might go do some lunch here in just a few minutes. But anyway, guys, I love y'all. God bless. Yahusha saves. And you can drink this Kool-Aid.